Hi everyone, it's me again here. I am going to tell you a few stories today, and I am going to tell you our success story of the club. Why I'm here, it's really important for me, it's really exciting actually to be here in front of you and to tell you how to ensure stability in your clubs. And it's exciting because actually it means that it's a recognition for me and for our club that we actually made it. That we are here and we are stable and we don't have a problem. And if I am here to tell you how to ensure stability, it means we are one step ahead. And we know the way which I'm going to tell you today for all of you. I joined Toastmasters like 4 years ago, and Toastmasters gave me lots, maybe tons. Toastmasters is really something that changed my life. It's probably the most important thing in my life. And it changed my life in a way that I cannot explain to you. My personal and professional life, both of them. It made me stand up here in front of you, made me stand up at home and tell my opinion about things, and made people listen to me. And that's why I think Toastmasters changed my life. And that's why I am here committed to Toastmasters, and I'm here committed to you, everyone that needs help with Toastmasters and needs help with their clubs. And my topic today is a bit tricky. I wrote this shortcut just because I wanted you to think about it. Do you think there is a shortcut to any stability? I don't mean any club, anything in life. Is there a shortcut? There is no shortcuts. I put it over here because I wanted to make you think. Because you, the members and officers of your clubs, are going to ensure your club stability. And believe me, if you're not committed and you don't spend time with your clubs, you are not going to ensure any stability. There is no shortcut, guys. You ensure that you are here for the clubs and hard work. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I joined Speaking Elephants in a moment when it was a very, very difficult moment. It was tough times. Probably some of you know, and probably some of you all still have. I heard stories about it. Those moments in which only 5 or 6 people come, or you cannot even find officers, and you function without officers and members. We were in this situation like a year ago or something. We were. But we began working on it. And we ensured that here today, me standing up in front of you, are one of the best clubs. Maybe in Poland, I don't know. One of the fastest developing clubs, and one of the clubs that actually is never going back because we have a stable plan. And we are going to ensure that the next officers are going to receive it, which is the most important thing. Because what most of you probably have is that officers, 5 or 6 or 3, whatever, they leave in June, and on 1st of July you don't know what to do. So what's next? And then you begin from the beginning. This is what I'm going to tell you today, how to ensure not only that your clubs in the moment are stable, but you ensure it also for the future of your clubs.
Cheers.
Cheers. Organizational matters. I just wanted to tell you, I'm not going to have any PowerPoint or anything. I want you to listen to me. I have notes over here, something like that I can send to any one of you. Just send me an email, it's over there. I will send all the notes to you. I'm going to show you throughout the presentations a few documents of the club that I think they will be helpful for you. If you need them, just send me an email. I'm going to send you everything afterwards. Everything you see. And you are going, it's everything that is going to be helpful for you. How do we begin? From my story, because I believe that each story of each one of you is important in Toastmasters, because every one of us has a story. Why we joined Toastmasters, and this is one of the most important questions we ask our guests, our members, and we have to remember and concentrate on why. I have a very personal story. It's my grandfather's. Like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, he came to me and he told me, "Listen, Milena, I had a problem when he was at work and he was promoted. He didn't know until that moment that being a manager means standing up in front of your people and making them listen to you. But not forcing them to listen to you, but actually ensuring that you are good person, you're a good manager, and you want everything the best for your team. So what happens is that he stands up in front of those people being promoted. Someone is asking him to come out. He stands up in front of them and he becomes totally red. He couldn't say a word. His mouth probably dried or anything, and he just resigned there in front of those people that he could have managing career, he could achieve something better for himself, and he really wanted it. He told me one thing which I still remember: never ever allow this to happen to you. If you cannot communicate, you go and learn. He told me, I don't know how to do it, but you can do it and you can achieve it. And if you want to be a small person and you cannot achieve your dreams, just stand on your place, don't do anything, don't learn, don't join Toastmasters or anything, and you will be one of them, like somebody like my grandfather that was totally disappointed by his life, by himself, and he didn't want us to be disappointed also. This is my story. I knew I'm going to do something about it because I knew I have a problem. I couldn't say a word to anyone, even personal conversation, opposing anyone, and not standing in front of like 100 people and telling them how to ensure stability in their club. I couldn't 4 years ago. But now I'm here. I'm here in front of you, and I feel really happy with my club. I feel really happy with everything that we did, me and my team of officers and members. And I know that our example can be a good example for you also and for everyone here. I'm going to begin. I have 3 major areas that I'm going to divide the points. I just want to ask you, in the end I will leave a few minutes for question and answers, but if there is something that is not clear, or if you have really some question that is bugging you, just stop me and say, okay, please, I need to ask you something. It's no problem. You go ahead, ask anything. The first and main part where you should begin from is set clear goals. And it is a cliche. I understand, I know it is. But without goals and without you foreseeing your future, where you want to be, you are not going to achieve it. It's not going to happen, believe me. It's not going to happen if the previous president after election comes, gives you the paper and says, this is what I did, you just go ahead and continue doing it. It's not going to happen because you are a different person. You have a different team of people, and you are not going to follow somebody else's goals. You have to sit with your own goals. You sit and think, okay, what I think is bad in the previous club, what I think was bad, what I saw was bad. Set a priority, set clear goals. I have 5 major points in setting clear goals for you. Something that was based on our own experience as a club. I assure you that this is not going to be like a role model or anything for all of your clubs, but some of those things I'm sure are going to be very helpful for all of you. So what happens first? The first point and the first question is that you're going to ask yourself after elections is where to begin from. A lot of people are asking themselves. But the point is, you're not going to ask yourself where to begin from after elections. You have to ask yourself before the elections. Before standing up in front of your club and promising like a political leader, I'm going to do this, this, this and this for you. Before that, you have to realize that being actually an officer is something important, more important than you being a member. Because standing up in front of your people, you are promising to them loud everything you're promising to them to be. But silently, you're promising to them 2 more things that people forget. First of them is reliability and responsibility, which means you stick to your goals and you are here for them. Which means that if what happened to me, they call you a month after elections and they tell you from your work, come on Milena, we really like you at work, but you're moving to London for a good amount of money. I say no. I am going to stay here because 2 months ago I promised. And if you want to take me there, it's okay, great. A year from now. I'm not asking you, all of you, to resign from your dream jobs or anything for Toastmasters. I am far away from this idea that is going to happen. What I'm telling you is that you realize what stands behind being an officer in this club. And it is not just you coming here and having a role. It is about promising to the people. And the second thing is accessibility, availability. You are here all the time. If you cannot come, you make them know that you are there, even if you're not physically there. You answer all the emails, you coordinate everything, because you have to ensure people know you're there. Those are the two things that you promise silently applying for a position of an officer, besides all other things that you're going to read in the leadership books. And of course you have to begin from the leadership book afterwards. After all, you have to read all the materials, you have to be aware of what's happening in Toastmasters and on the, like, what's behind your role. You have to be really knowledgeable about it, because you have to teach and be an example for all the other people. And meet your predecessors, even if they don't really feel like you go, take them out and meet them and find out. The second thing you have to do with setting clear goals is evaluate your club. Evaluate the previous mistakes, but I don't mean that you evaluate them negatively, say, oh, this is everything bad you did, I'm going to change it. No, you don't care about it. You have to create your own plan based on your own uniqueness, which means you never blame, you just find out the main problems. And what we found out as our main problems is that we needed to ensure that people are knowledgeable about educational program. So we decided on a plan afterwards how to ensure people knew how Toastmaster works. We needed to ensure, for example, how they get good evaluations, and we taught people how to do good evaluations. We knew that there is no mentorship program, and mentorship is really important because people are basically lost. And we set up priorities for that. We evaluate the club and set up priorities based on your mistakes from the previous, or maybe not mistakes, but weak sides from previous year. Very important thing. Another thing is to think about and understand the Toastmaster idea. To understand what Toastmasters is, its mission, vision, and values. And what I mean is that you have to understand that nobody is here because they're forced. Everyone is here voluntarily. And what I mean by that is that each person here has their own story. And each person here has a problem or issue or anything. They come with it and they need to fix it, and we are going to help. That's why we have to understand what Toastmasters is. It's for everyone. And to understand also the Toastmasters educational program, but in a way of roles. What is the difference between an officer and a member that doesn't hold officer role? Do you know what's the difference between an officer and a member? Anyone?
Responsibilities.
Yes, you're right. Exactly. The officer, this is something you have to remember and understand. The officer is somebody that actually puts others' interest first. The officer is somebody that is a leader already. You forget, you are an officer, you apply for it, you forget about your development. I mean, not 100%, but others' members' development is first. Club development is first. You are an officer now, you have to work on developing the club and the members. This is the main difference between an officer and a member, and remember that it's very important to know it before you actually apply or before you continue with the officer role. Your development will come, I call it passively, because by developing others and the club, it gives you a lot more and develop yourself also. Last but not least, and which is probably the most important for most of you, by setting clear goals is, of course, working on club success plan. There are two things here that I wanted to mention. The first one is that there are clubs in which there is no club success plan, which was my club before June last year. Really. It's very important to have it, of course, but there is another thing. It's very often that happens, clubs have club success plans, but the club success plan limits itself to the Distinguished Club program. How many of you have a club success plan that is just the Distinguished Club program? I will give you a few tips for that. The club success plan is much wider than the Distinguished Club program. I still remember Franny coming to our first officer meeting in July last year. And he was like, okay, but Milena, you're telling them how to achieve the 10 points. I see you can do it. But what's next? I mean, give me more. I'm like, okay, I have a few more things here, but I never thought it's really important. Of course, I put my priorities as in general, but I didn't know and didn't think that we have to include it. You have to include the priorities of the club in general, because the Distinguished Club program is based on membership development, on the development of each member. And the other thing, what I'm talking about, you have to include the club priorities and development of the club as a whole. So what I mean is that the club success plan has to have at least two main parts. I will show you mine, ours, and then you will see whether there are things that you might be adding to yours, or that there are other things that actually that you can include more than those two main parts. But never forget the second part, the club priorities, based on the evaluation of the club, and they should be inside in the club success plan. Because the club success plan is not only development of members. Of course, it's very important for you to include one more word on your banner, but it's not only this one, it's also ensuring that other people after you have something to be working on. It's also to ensure that the other officers and officers after you are going to have a normal, good club to be in and developing above. And not going back again to the same, in the end of June, finishing the same thing, you exploit all the members, take the 10 points, and then the others come and then wonder, okay, what's next? That's what you have to think about while working on the club success plan. Ensure club stability, not only member development. Maybe I will show it to you now, just to see how it works for us. So this is our club success plan. It's a bigger document. I will try to show it to you a little bit more. So this is basically, on top of it, you see how we are going to achieve the Distinguished Club Award.
Can you increase the font?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I am not sure.
Right bottom. Right bottom. Right bottom.
Yeah.
That's not the right direction.
Do you see it, or?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, so see here on top we included all the levels, all the points that we have to achieve on the way to Distinguished Club program. So above you have 4 CC, 2 AC, and 2 from everything, and new members, of course, and then club officer training and financial reports and officers reports. Below, what we included is actually who is doing what and how to include it, how to conclude it, how to achieve. So you see, by all, I mean everyone. So we divided the roles of every officer. That's really important that everyone opens it, and when they open it, they know what they are doing and what they have to do. So we divided, me and my officers divided everything, how we are going to achieve it. And here you have all, but then you have VPE, then you have secretary and VPPI and president. It's all divided by roles. So everyone knows what they have to do on the way to achieving the Distinguished Club program. In the same time, within the roles, you will find also our priorities that we spoke about in the beginning for our club. So it's not only about Distinguished Club program, but it's also within the priorities that we want to achieve for the club. Another thing that I added also, which is not mandatory, but I thought that it's important, it's general duties. By general duties, I thought and I meant that every club officer has to work on that. Every member has to work on that. And that, what I mean is that positive attitude, I mean initiative, creativity, responsibility, it's all those things that we have to remember being an officer of the club. And we all sat together and we discussed in our club officer, first officer meeting. And we ended up with this document. It's an amazing thing, because this helps us follow up with our duties and helps us report afterwards. Then I enter on a regular basis, I see what's still going to happen, I see who is doing what, and then I follow up with them. This is something good that you can consider for yourself. Then we go to the second section that I wanted to talk about, and this is putting those goals into action. How to do it? Because we have our priorities, okay, we have our club success plan, so what is next? The most important thing is creating, or not more, maybe not creating is not the right word, but ensuring you have an amazing leading team. If you are the president of the club, you know that you cannot do anything by yourself. It's not possible for you to work by yourself, and you actually don't have to. But you have to ensure that the leading team is those people know what they're doing, those people understand why they're officers, and they are with you. So what we did, and we sat together and we discussed all those points, and then I told them, listen guys, I do understand that each one of you has priorities, but you have to shift them. It's a called shift in mind. You forget about your own personal priorities. You put them behind the club's ones, and this is the starting point. By creating a very good leading team, understanding their role and why they're here, you are going to achieve the best ever. Then you create, of course, the club documents, which I'm going to talk about afterwards. But you create also the club documents, and you work on a draft of a plan how we are going to achieve everything. And the first starting point to begin with all the officers, you are as a president leading with the officers, is the Toastmaster educational program. As I told you, this is a very important thing. It was important for our club. I believe it's important for everyone, is to understand the Toastmaster educational program. If you are in your clubs for 2 or 4 years, you forget that people don't realize what's the Toastmaster educational program. Sometimes, very often, people put the competent communicator manual first and forget about the competent leadership manual. What happens next is that what happened to our club also. What happened is that people develop, do 5-6 speeches from the CC manual, and then they drop out. And then you wonder, well, why do they drop out? Like, we're doing everything great. They drop out exactly for that. They don't understand the competent leadership manual is as important as the competent communication manual. And it's because of officers, because you as officer are not standing up in front of them 2 times a year, at least 2 times a year, explaining to them. Because there is huge rotation in our Toastmasters clubs. Every time 5 or 6 or 7 members even are not signing up for the next 6 months. Which means every time we have 7 to 10 members, new members, those people don't know it again. So again, you have to repeat it. And I don't mean also explaining to them, standing up and saying CC equals CL. One more thing to do is also explaining to them how to get there. All the other levels. By, for example, what we are doing, for the CC and CL manual, we took the Success Club Series program, and then we do it twice a year in our club. Another thing we are doing is that we are asking people to take the membership campaigns. We say, you organize membership campaign because it covers the 8 projects of the CL manual. You take, for example, the contest chair because it covers the 6th project of the CL manual. If you want to achieve it, you have to go to those people and give it to them. Because they don't know it. They really don't. If you only expect that people are going to read their emails from Toastmasters and they're going to read all the books, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry about this example. My sister just joined 2 months ago our club, and she never read until today her starting email which Toastmasters sends to you sending you, what they do is send you the member number, and then they tell you have to have a password for the website. People basically don't read it, and they are not going to achieve it. And which also reminds me, this is how I found out something else, which is also really important. Maybe some of you still didn't think about it. If you remember when you were becoming a member of the club, like I think it stopped a year ago, but before that, you would receive from Toastmasters 2 basic manuals plus 3 small manuals, which was the evaluation, body language, vocal variety. Those 3 small manuals are actually already digital from like a year from now. So which means that those people don't receive them. The only way to receive them is actually to read this email and to find out that you can download them, but they don't read it. So what we do is that we send them those manuals and we tell them, go ahead and read it. You don't expect from the people just to do that. Explaining the Toastmaster educational program is the most important, that you follow up with your people. So we prepared, we ordered, of course, all the manuals, everything that is that you and every member needs on the way to achieving those, all the levels up. We order them, we have them in our library. It's called Club Inventory, so every of our members has an access to it. We send them all the time. So they know what's inside, they can ask us, we can give it to them. It's a small club library, which is something really good. I found out that people have access to all the materials for free. And they know how to use them. Okay. Another thing that is, I think, really important for our club, and it's really specific for our club, is the club atmosphere. I know everyone here claims to have an amazing atmosphere, and I'm sure it is amazing. What a lot of clubs fail to do, and there the problem is that when people come to their club, new people, new guests, and they're really happy about it, they fail to send them to visit other clubs. And now I will tell you why it is really important. Sending those people to other clubs to see whether they really like it here, there, wherever, is actually ensuring they're making conscious choice about being with your club or not being with your club. But not being with your club doesn't mean anything wrong for your club. It only means that this person found their soul somewhere else. And in Toastmaster, if it's voluntary, we need people that really feel comfortable here. Because if they don't for any reason, you don't need them. They're anyways going to drop out. Just send the people to other clubs. Ensure that your people are really on their place and they like it here. That I'm sure every one of us has unique atmosphere. Unique. But we need the people to know it, that there are others outside and they might be feeling better outside there. Working on the atmosphere of the club is ensuring that your people feel comfortable. Then, which means that then you have to talk to them, you have to communicate with them and find out what they need. And they're talking, really talking a lot. One thing that is also working very well is that understanding, once again I will repeat, that it's voluntary. For example, if they have roles, they sign up, but they never appear. And then the VP Education says, oh my God, I'm sick of it. I'm going to impose fines. I mean educational, of course. But I say no fines. Are you kidding? No fines ever going to accept it. This is voluntary and everyone has to be happy here and comfortable. And we have to remember that 2 hours after work in a very winter cold day, when I even travel 2 hours to get there, means that if people actually made it, you have to be thankful. You have to be thankful. No fines. And then you say, okay, but what we do with the empty rows, empty slots, it is a problem. I agree with you. What we did is that we have prepared an Excel sheet for all meetings with all rows. We keep history in it. And then we put a backup slots for everyone, so that people sign up earlier. So we have people that we know that already that they will be at the meeting, so they come up and then we give them a role. So this is something that you can do also for your club. Ensure that the atmosphere is easygoing and people feel happy there. Another point that is really important on my list. Membership growth. I know all of you and most of you wait for that. Membership growth actually has two phases. For most of us as beginning clubs, membership growth limits itself to how to attain more members. It is a problem for most of us. How to do it is actually keeping all those commitments, ensuring that everyone is welcome. It's very important to take care of your guests. I'm not going to repeat what Grzegorz said because we discussed it earlier. It's very important you follow up with them. You know your guests. You talk to them and ensure they are coming and you know their problem and they know, you know what they're searching here. Another thing is that you make your members happy by giving them what they need. We created surveys. We know now what each member needs, why they're here, and we approach them directly. And now they know they can achieve everything. We give them all the manuals they need. We explain the program based on their needs. Concentrate on each one personally. Very important. And then I assure you membership growth is coming because people are never going to leave you and they are leaving. Another problem coming with membership growth, as I tell you, it's a negative one, is what happens when we have so many members. So now our club turned from having too little members, too few, to having tons of members, and then what's next? Because everyone wants to talk, you have people for 3 speeches a meeting, for 4 months ahead, and everyone wants to talk. So what do we do then? It is a problem, but again, what we did is that we organized a few, and continue organizing, a few speech marathons, so we put only speeches to that meeting. We also give a lot of people opportunity to talk outside the club. For example, we organize different events, different meetings, demo meetings and stuff. We always give them this opportunity to talk. But don't forget, ensure that icebreakers always have free slots. You can't make new members wait for 3 months. Never ever. Free slots for icebreakers. Speech marathons. And outside, and talking outside the club also, because I mean those meetings happen on Saturday, or for example here everyone can stand up and talk and have another project signed up afterwards. So all those opportunities are outside, you just have to use them. Recognition and awards. Recognition is really important for your people. Why I say that? It's because this is probably one and the only place where people realize that they have to stand up in front. Their achievements are made public. And the whole club and everyone, wherever you make it public, is congratulating them. It's really important. We do it on a few levels. The first one is the club. Members are being greeted by giving a member certificate and everyone standing up and clapping. Competent communicators, leaders, all levels are being recognized first in front of the club, then on a Facebook page, on our web page. Pictures are being put there. And then they're once again being recognized in the president newsletter, which I'm going to show you in a second, which I send to them like once in 3 months with the best things that happen in the club. So they are being recognized and they receive awards for different contests internally from us, not only from what they achieve outside. It's really important for your club members. As I said, newsletters, aside from the president newsletter, which I send each 3 months, which is also something that maybe just a second, I will just, You see here, for example, this is the last one I sent, which includes some main parts, membership achievements, members' achievements. Then you have club achievements, and then you have club events, and of course organizational matters, which is really important. What I mean here is that by including all this 4th point, you once again remind them of the important things that they might be in use of, and the important things that they might not have read somewhere on the way. So you just put it once again there, and you remind that this, and you give them another option to catch the last flight, probably. Because look here, I just also put those three manuals, and Once again, I remind them what an amazing club we are. Believe me, this really makes a difference for people to know that they are part of a big project, that they feel involved in it and informed. Keeping the people informed and involved is the most important thing. One of them, I know I mentioned a lot of important things. Yeah? Yeah, I know. But it's really important that you keep them informed and involved. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And you make them part of the big picture with their achievements, their recognition, and putting them here in front of everyone and saying, you're the best. And everyone else feels, I can be there next time. Okay, okay. I know that there was a discussion about club events because of those small parts that we decided to include in the conference right now. I do believe club events are really important for the club, but not only the internal one. I found out lately that external events are probably the most important one for the club. Why? Because if the internal events are actually funny and make people involved and integrated in your club and within Toastmasters, the external events are actually the place where people realize that the Toastmaster audience is the best one, and outside they have to search for their voice and they have to fight for it. Because the Toastmasters audience, whenever we speak in our clubs, it's not, how to say it, as real as the audience outside, is not as critical as the audience outside. So when you have an external event, you put them in front of a big hall of people. Like for example, we had this theater meeting. We put them on the theater podium and we told them to talk in front of hundreds of people. Then they realize that fighting for your voice is really difficult. It's not like you here listening to me and looking at me. It doesn't happen. People talk, people chat, they have phones, they have I don't know what kind of things, and you have to fight for people to listen to you. And it's really important. Organize external events outside the club. Make your members talk and realize the difference. Because here inside, they're not going to have an objective view of what's a real audience outside. Financial planning is also important, maybe not. It's really important, of course. But it's a small point. And probably in the end, I left it in the end. Financial planning is important because you need to know how much money you have, but you need to base it on the priorities. For example, if we prioritize in the beginning education, we bought all the educational materials and we pay, for example, for our members to be here. This was our priorities. If you prioritize it, then your members will feel comfortable that you're doing something with this money, and it's really important. Because next time when you want, for example, when Toastmaster raises the fees, you don't have people standing up and say, okay, again, it's too much, or anything like that. So prioritizing financially, it is also something really nice. What I just wanted to give you an example of our members here. What they're doing is, if it's good to have internal initiatives. For example, if somebody is doing things for free for the club, I mean, we're doing a lot of things, hopefully you're doing also. What happens here, if you're looking at our banner, why I'm going to show it to you, because it's really, I'm so proud of our Surgeon at Arms. What he did is actually, this stand is made by him. Tolaj, stand up. Are you here somewhere? He made it because the stand, this metal thing is so expensive, ordering it from Toastmasters. So basically he invented it. The stand is made by him, by hand, for 50 zloty. Amazing thing, amazing. And everyone in the club is doing something for the club that it doesn't ask us to pay so much money and doesn't really require so much efforts. I'm going to skip all the other parts so that I leave a small section for your questions. I'm going to send you, as I said, all the notes, so you're going to have all the small details afterwards also. Two things that I left in the end, like a small third part that I wanted to underline, is that you have to ensure that your people are working well, which means that you ensure a good reporting system from your officers, that you go up, you follow up with all of them, and you follow up also on all the points of the Distinguished Club program. Good reporting system is really important. You involve all the officers, but the second one is you involve all the members. Do not forget all the members. Never think that, okay, he's a member for the last weeks, so he cannot make it. Believe me, they can. Give them as many things as they need, give them roles, give them organizational matters, they can do it. Involve both of them, officers and members, in everything you're doing. I'm very proud to be standing up here in front of you and to be telling you how to ensure the stability in the club. There are so many steps on the way, and there's so many small things you have to think about. We did it all, and we are here on the other side. I believe everyone can achieve it, and I believe no one, if ever achieved, can ever go back there if you ensure that you follow up with the next officer board. And you give them all the documents. That's why they're important. You give them the history of the club. It's really important. One story. I recently went to Ghana, you can see from my hair, but I had a short conversation with one of the girls. She told me, Milena, you know, at funerals here, we are really unhappy. And I'm like, okay, everyone's unhappy. She's like, we are really double unhappy. I'm like, why? She said, because we have this tradition to organize funerals for the whole village and city. If somebody dies, everyone is invited to come and to eat. So basically what happens is that she said, we cry for two reasons at funerals. The first one is because somebody is dead, obviously. But the second one is because sometimes we have to keep them for 1 year frozen because we have to collect the money to organize the funeral. What I mean by that is you as an officer, when you leave your role in the end of June, let people cry for just one reason, and this is you being gone, and not by you leaving also debts to them. Really. And this is my conclusion with my presentation today. We achieved, and us being here, the four of us, we achieved actually the 10 points that I have on the club success plan. We are President Distinguished Club now. And no debts are going to be here because now it's end of January and we have 5 months to work on to ensure stability of the club for the next officers. Thank you.